Okay, so I have arrived. Um, yeah, I can be on for a little while. So, oh, by the way, this is the one that allows me to actually see the chat. So I am with you in the chat. Um, I think I can, maybe I can even create. Oh, I need to check on another thing because there's another feature that allows me not to see the chat, but I think there's a there's a special feature that allows for chat to be displayed. So I may need to add that. That way, I can do. I don't know. This one works just fine. All right, I'm always overthinking. I have some good news. So I knew that this was going to be a strange experience. This next 100. Um, like I'm in between, and I'm keep fluctuating. Somewhere in the 400 watch hour mark, trying to reach 500 mark. That's because I'm picking up some things like the way that the channel. So right now I'm learning about branding. So I was given a tremendous insight. I have features that will allow for me to. I now know exactly how I will have the ability to share all of the parts. That's. Wait a minute. There's something I think I forgot to do. Oh my. Or did I? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm not sure. How long have we been? Oh yeah, I'm gonna give you guys until 3 minutes because I don't. Sometimes I just think I'm just keep overthinking. Gosh, my mind is going on 50 like 100 miles per hour. Okay, so anyways, I was taught about branding. In mid streams, I finally found a way how to present my book. So I have the publishing part. Now I have the ability to actually present you the book and products and services and email. Yeah, so I definitely know how I'm going to do it now. So everything is coming together, and I'm so happy about these features. These are the little bells and whistles that I've been, trying to imagine in my brain. I didn't know what to call it, but I happened to, to discover it. So, yes, it's going to get real interesting a lot sooner. So, I guess I'm learning. So, you're going to see new things, new features, but these are features that are for you to enjoy and to partake in. Hi. Hello. So, yes, I might as well show you. So, this is my email feature. This will allow for email, for reaching out through email, I believe, if I've done this correctly, to reach out so that you can get on my list of people who desire readings. I'm already working and busy, so I'll leave that for just a few more seconds while I explain what I'm doing. So I'm creating a list as I'm already booked. So yes, I'm already booked, but this will allow for you to reach out and get on the list of people who want to be read when as space opens up. So I can already tell you, I'm going to have to do this, sparingly. So 2 days in the range for bookings because I get booked pretty quickly throughout the month. So yeah, so there's that. I'll go ahead and take this down. Yeah, I'll share it, but I'm not gonna, make that be the center of the conversation. But yes, I now can brand a lot more better. So I do have a way now to present the services, make it discreet and private, so you don't, have to you know, give delicate information across the my chat, your chat, as you chat in the public square. So yeah. So, anyways, there's even more beautiful features. There's more services you'll have access to. I also like the idea that I'm not so restricted to like, especially as we reach memberships. So yeah, there will be a lot of these sort of in live, I guess, in memberships, interaction, very interactive style lives. Of course, you know what I loved. Uh, it says, "Oh, hello. I'm English speaking. I'm very much English speaking. But how are you? I am doing phenomenal. My clients are happy. Today I had a very peculiar call. Um, I understand dialects though. You can have broken dialect. It does. I understand you like fully, yeah, but I am English speaking. Oh, by the way, so this particular client contacts. It's a mom who is also becoming a grandmom. She's like, will my daughter get out of this relationship? So sometimes it's, will the relationship work? They seem to be so happy. I'm pulling for them. Will they give me, yield good fruits and give grandchildren? But this one is like, this mom was hot, as in steaming hot, and was like, I want him gone, you know? And so there was some good news. In this case, it's good news when like the daughter of the client is fed up. It's like this is the last chance. She's already, I believe, have made up her mind. Is this that she needs to finish the story? She needs to write the ending to her story in her own way. Because when people go through things, if they are pulled up in the middle, sometimes they'll return back to it because it's unfinished business. So this is a bit of like this, but this unfinished business is all about she needing to go in person and say, I am done and moving on, and why. And yeah, it's gonna happen. So I'm very happy. And then I also, of course, saw the future. She's in a place where she's done with that in the history. Well, this soon, well, I believe is already an ex. It's like it's inevitable, and wanting to be a partner. Like she wants partnership, and it's perfect timing. Being that is as the closer we get to November, or excuse me, mid November, because this is about. I've been you've heard me speak about balancing. So it's balancing of love and relationships, the balance of soul groups. So this is a time to really work with people. So what do you call it? Like I'll just put it this way, very plainly: do your best to work with people, groups of people. Don't run from them. Try not to make it impossible to work together. I'm telling you, people who normally, like, maybe since you've met them, maybe the past 2 years, they've not really been in your space, and you're like, I don't think we'll ever get along, but we have mutual connections. This time is different. Those very same individuals will most likely be your greatest supporters now. Believe it or not, it is so strange. It's like you would think that these would be the least people you would call on, and now they're here and they're supporting, and they're giving all of their effort into bringing you success where you benefit, but they will benefit too. That's the thing. It's a mutual partnership. So yes, they are benefiting, but at the same time, they're the least person you thought would ever take on this role in your space. Is how I would word that. But also, you have new people coming in, and those friends, or some friends who are falling away, who you thought that's going to be the one you really will at some point come together. Maybe you've done a lot of work for them. I have a client situation where my client has worked out mathematical formulations. My client is, is a teacher, so like a professor teacher, all across the board, and so it helped with just a lot of different things. But the friend, my client has moved to their country, their city, and the friend, hasn't even arranged for them to meet, and it's over a month now. So I got my client though focused though. My client's pretty focused and is not banking on that one friendship. And my client is also making tons of friends, beautiful friendships every day. So it's not it, a worry situation. It's just that my client is a little bit surprised because this is someone she considered to be an actual friend, but not that. And she didn't need anything, didn't ask for anything. It wasn't about what she could get or the friend could help. Um, yeah, but the friend is. I think the friend's a little jealous because my client showed up, didn't need anything, and and is in the social realms, and the friend saw these photos of my client in action. So these are very active photos, right? A lot of activity, people around, and beautiful people in the middle of beautiful people. My client's looking beautiful because yeah, my client is working out, and so people are approaching, and wanting to get her number, both male and female, mind you. So the friend is like seeing all these photos, are like, what? So I believe out a little bit out of jealousy, the client's friend reaches out. Hey, I feel so, and said the words, I feel so bad. I hadn't reached out or hadn't really, planned to hook up. We got to get together, girl. I got to take you around, out night on the town. We can paint the town streets red. We can paint paint the town red. So uh, but my client is not like zero in on that. So I kind of help direct guide in that, like, no, you're in a very good place. So yeah, my client's friend is liking the portfolio so far. And I think is a little jealous. Is a little, out of jealousy, and also like feeling bad, like, oh my gosh, I thought like a friend that thought, oh, you're trying to do what I'm doing. You're coming over here to my city from another country at that, and now you're gonna be thinking I'm gonna be like helping you and make you a project. No way. And that was not what my client was there for at all. And the little things that the friend offered, like, okay, if I see some work for you, I'll shoot some emails, on your behalf. My client didn't need any of that either. Was just trying to connect with a friend. The friend did do that, but it was like, girl, get a job, and we'll see. I'm not really trying to meet with you. I'm living my client got all of that bigger bigger jobs, the bigger work actually, contract on her own, so as of course predicted. Yeah, but anyway, I'm not saying we got to lose friends, but you know what I mean. So like, the point is, some friends, that you have, a few clients have said, like, what's up but with my friend? Yeah, they are like needing to focus on their stuff. They're working on their stuff, and that's okay. But I just want my clients to know that, so that my clients can focus on their stuff and continue to have great success. So that's what's going on, and it's gonna be beautiful. Hmm. A beautiful fall season. I believe a beautiful end of year season to bring in the new year, and a winter season. Well, they are in Dubai, so scratch winter. But I think that I'm making sure that I made very sure, as my client is being pulled in these social realms, that has a really phenomenal job. I made sure of that, and they're gonna help. The family are breaking their own social rules. They usually don't do extra stuff for people who work with them. They're gonna help my client get all the proper IDs. that she's going to need, to continue working, to help, I guess with the, that's the, when you're on visa for work. So they're gonna help her get aligned, properly implemented. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. So that's the new people or soul tribe, soul family, new friends. You know, you're right. And it's okay. That's other friends. They have to step away and focus on their things. That, yeah. So she's having no problem, as they say, assimilating. Um, lots of other good stories as well. But yeah, so I now can, here, I'll put this up one more time. That is for those who are wanting, like, okay, how, first of all, not so much how, okay, who are you reading now? And when is it my reading? Like, when is it my turn? This is a way I can get you on the list so that after I read for the clients already ahead of you, I'll get to you, but this is one of the ways. But there are going to be other things that I offer, so don't worry. You'll have plenty of time to decide. Um, and of course, we can be in communication to see exactly how the reading will be delivered to you because, if you're not English speaking, you can also write in your language and then use the Google to translate into my language, and then I can send it to you. Some people do it that way. I've read for people who needed interpreters for me. So like on a three-way, I've read for people who are deaf. Yep. So that no problem. um, and that to be, like a three-way, be translated so that the person could have a reading and get the right answers. So, yeah, it's not a barrier. It's just a matter of if communication is possible, a reading is possible. Even if the language is a barrier, there's a barrier of language. Don't worry. um, Today's technology, people have been doing this since the beginning of time, with an interpreter. If there's you, so you can invite an interpreter, no problem. I will accommodate for you. Okay. I thought I needed to say that. Somebody wrote in another language. Yeah. And I know that on my end, I could translate it as well, but that's a bit timely. Okay, I'll remove that. And so during lives, you'll see like different features um, as, well, throughout, I guess, going forward from here because it seems to be working quite well and I'm just excited. But I don't start the actual writing um, and my spirit flooded in with writer, author, publish. And so definitely as 1,000%, but as 2026 though. So though I've started writing, not writing for you to read. It's not polished, but the actual publishing is definitely 1,000% 2026. I'm excited about it. Traditionally, I was thinking I would have to like wait till memberships because I thought that was gonna be the kind of like the medium, but not so much. But although I do believe all of these activities of services and things, and definitely products, should be introduced to members first. So give them a special experience, but and then make its way to my more of my lives here. This particular feature is more of my public live. So I thought I would come in. I would share my progress. I have like a few hours, I guess. So it's like a few hours that I can speak with you guys. So yeah, there's a few hours I can just talk with you, um, share a little bit of what's going on, this new information, and hopefully it'll all come together. No, it will come together. That's a guarantee. Um, I'm going to be, well, I've already started reading, of course. I've had my first round of readings this morning. I have a nice gentleman who's into a woman, and they weren't talking for a while. The first words he said was, "I've got good news." We're talking a little bit. uh, like he, like she was ready to forget him, but basically she's kind of waiting to see what he's gonna do to make everything up to her again, and and I could tell by his voice he's not that man that can walk away from her so easily. Like he doesn't want to let go. And she's like, man, read her signals. Like, read the signals, read the room. And so he finally initiated. So I made it very clear. I was like, for a while, he wanted to go back to where it was romantically, intimately, like 1, 2, 3. He did it now. Can they? No, she's going to stretch this out. She's not going to give. She's not going to give him. Like she's not going to initiate. So I said, for a few weeks, it's gonna be like seeing how you're going to approach her. He's got to approach her much differently than I think. What she wants is for he to secure the connection. That's what she's waiting for him to do. So, and I think that he thinks, oh yes, this is gonna be simple, a few nice words, and it showed the initiative. She knows she wants to. It's gonna be different this time. As much as she wants to, the division that I got was, it was like, oh, she was definitely 1,000% ready to walk away, because I saw psychically her back was turned. However, she's looking over her shoulder as she's walking, like man. I told him like man, you want this type, like you want her, but you need to initiate and show her, tell her how serious, like how much you want her. She wants to feel valued right now. So, yeah. So she's like she's willing to walk away, but she hadn't, like the actual of moving on. She hadn't done that. She still thought about what's he thinking, what he tends to do, and he made some progress. The good thing is in the timing that I suggested. As the first 2 weeks, November. So something could happen. I gave him. I said, he says, but well, when was the next time you think that intimacy with her will happen? I said, end of month, more like the last week, November, and just before he had cut off. There's one part. It's more like first week of December. It's end of this month, first to bring in December. Yeah. So, but nonetheless, this already did mention though. This has all potential, which illustrates beyond one intimate encounter. It's to be long term, and the focus could be something long term lasting. It could be something that moves into 2026. Of course, it all depends on you know how he would like things to like what type of level of relationship he's looking for. I think he's highly attracted to her, but being physically attracted is not enough. And and on top of that, he has to try different. He has to initiate different actions this time. Like the other older actions before, she's not gonna let those work. If he tries to repeat what he's already done, said, she's not going to respond to that very well. I didn't. I hadn't. I'm guiding him, so I'm not telling him that type of information. I don't want to say go in there and get caught in a right hook. No, no. It's like there's a way you got to say it so that instructionally he doesn't go in there and get caught with a right hook. So I'm like, look. is what you're gonna want to do is initiate, and you don't have to make any promises, but you can definitely show your interest and that you're willing to begin communicating and then getting the attention because she's going to be asking you what do you want and you've got to have an answer. So that's more constructive as opposed to, well, if you go in there and you say the same things you've always said, she'll close the door on you. Then he goes in there and does exactly that, the same game, and she's like, I don't want to play that game anymore. So it's the way you got to word things in a special way. hmm The wording is important, which this is my metaphysical studies, my metaphysical background, the healing of paths, healing of communication, and healing of relationships, especially relationships where, as you said, do they even want to be together? It's like, well, I think these two do. They, what's even interesting about karmic soulmates this year, and I do believe like he does give the client, the male client, he does give like karmic soulmate, but that used to be something of a negative, like oh my gosh, karmic soulmate, what's the expiration date on this? But for the first time ever in all the years I've read, karmic soulmates actually have the ability to transcend into twin flames. Now, I had witnessed karmic soulmates becoming like life companions. They just choose each other. And to do that, it takes great like determination. Like they both have to just want to do that. And whatever life says can't happen, they're just saying, well, it's going to happen. And what? It's that kind of situation. And they just make it work. Like if one moves, the other one is saying, "Oh well, you're moving with me," or "I'm moving with you," or something like that. Or they make their family members get along, something, or they, regardless of what the social standings are, they bridge their worlds together and says, "Okay, you have to accept that these two are embraced, but they're very much willing to be a part of the event, so that's like companions. I mean like truly becoming twin flames. That's different, like one sharing like one soul. So yeah, they're like what do you call it? Karmic soulmates have been doing something quite different. And of course, usually, although we're speaking to both the woman and the man as karmic soul mates, usually it's from the male's perspective, like the man is the karmic soulmate, so to speak. But yeah, and the woman truly, a lot of most of the time, the woman like she wants it to work with the karmic soulmate. Even sometimes not even having met their actual twin flame. Like if she's dealt with a karmic soulmate, and this could be a male too, but I read for a lot of ladies. Um, they will say like even if before having met their twin flame in the future, the karmic soulmate, that's the one that they're like they want that one to be their twin flame. And a lot of times ladies will say that karmic soulmate is their twin flame. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. It's just that in the time that they're witnessing it, he's behaving, his actions are under the path of which marks him at karmic soulmate. But this year, I'm witnessing karmic soulmates actually go all the way and transform to twin flames. hmm Oh, by the way, so in the past, what about in the past where they've not worked? Clearly, karmic soulmates had to, had to progress. So when they weren't progressing, how did those work out? Well, begrudgingly, when the woman meets the twin flame, she's like, "What is this?" And then she's like, "What is this?" As in, she reminds me of like the temperance card. I guess I have the temperance card as it should be on the little image, the thumbnail. And it's like the angel is like standing like on land and sea and it's like pouring one cup into another cup, right? And so is trying to figure out like what is this? Like, okay, I thought that my karmic soulmate was the one. That this twin flame is coming in and giving me everything I ever wanted. But I even hoped for the karmic soul to give, and is even giving even more, and is saying, all the things that I want to hear. Like, what is this? And then, of course, some will even say, like, is the karmic soulmate or done? Like, before they say yes and move on. Some of them would say yes and go on and, like, have this uh, like romantic, and it's almost like a fantasy, lovers, coming together. They, the getaway, or the honeymoon is, and the stepchildren to be, or children, go off, and they're like as a family, and they're doing the whole thing. They, Disney World resort. I mean, the whole bit. And but before they say, okay, I just want to be sure, because once I step through this gate, this new life, I'm gonna surrender into it. Like, is that karmic soul person gonna contact me back? Like, mm, like, usually they're making it very certain that they're moving on, because they understand, like, I don't want to hurt anybody, but things happen, and I don't know what I'll do, like, if I'm faced with it, and everything's happened so quickly. So before they close that door, ultimately, like, they do, I know women do check through and through, make sure that it is done completely. So yeah, yes, karmic soulmates, and when they are around, and then then add addition to a twin flame, always complicated, like very complicated. But they're fun to read. They are fun to read. But then some, are like, I don't want anybody else. I don't care what that twin flame. I don't care that that twin flame is from heaven. I want this to work. I know it's this karmic soulmate, that's the one, that's one for me. And those are I would say, the challenging readings, because when they get to that point, I immediately, through my experience, I don't push that on them. Oh, but it's life in the future is so much better. No, 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 no. That's not what I was like. Well, at that point, that's like letting me know I will not speak on that subject anymore unless they bring it up. That's the only time I will. And then on top of that, I've even said, look, I think that it would be best if you were to ask about the future, or about a future love potential, even a twin flame, unto a twin flame, that you should plan that in a completely separate reading with me or with another psychic, and only ask questions about that twin flame, about your future love potential. But yeah, once they show that energy, I'm like, mm-mm. Yeah, I only will then say, because they have so much work to because they're so heavily invested in this karmic soulmate, whether I believe it's working or not, or has a shot at it or not. That's where they should focus their attention. Meditations, prayers, energy work, shadow work, whatever they're doing, therapy, they only need to focus on that. I said, no, no, don't focus on the future, because you'll only be mad, or the future could just make you more upset, or drive you to even want this even more. And there's so much you need to learn from this person, this karmic soulmate. I can recognize it already. Let's just focus on that for now. And then, so then we started, I guess, talking about like mundane. Like, first of all, will this person call or text? Or like, when is the next time that they will speak or even see each other? Will the habits change? Will the routine change? Like very microcosmic type questions, like practical questions, mundane things. Yeah, we stay there for a while, and um, so a lot of times, it's dealing with that, especially times those information can be, kind of, what do you call it, like, uh, where they like, where's the loyalty? And I guess they feel like the person's been disloyal because they used to maybe call every so often, maybe still not as much, because that means there would be no issue to talk about. but and then maybe eliminating the intimacy. Maybe the intimacy is no longer available on the table, and so now it's reduced to just talking, or now it's reduced to, well, they used to talk on the phone. Now they want to like chat, and then it's, are they being casual, like platonic, like like, has the dynamics changed, and then you go through that, and that's a lot of emotions. Human emotions is like rejection. I don't want to deal with the rejection bit, and this person does want me. What is it about me that they don't want? What can I do to fix me, or fix that, or fix them, and fix the situation? And sometimes it's none of those things, or as an issue to fix. So yeah, those are very tricky ones. And I'm not, like, I can, as a psychic, I give, when I say exact, approximate information, I mean outcomes. No, I remove the therapy, so no therapy, no counsel, no religious judgment. you know, uh, the most I will say is, spirit. They push it to the limit. Like, come on, your opinion. My thoughts are, universe only wants to give to you. Universe can only give to you what will benefit you. So, if we're trying to arrange um, events for our future, for a present outcome, if it's not to your highest good, it's like universe won't play along with that. So even if they play it dark and the person shows up again, and it is, I just, of course, you let those things just play out, and but psychically, that that was like a one-time deal. Like, maybe they called and then hooked up. They're like, yeah, that was the one. And they're like, okay, there's a sign here. They, sometimes, like, this is something. That's when I know that, no, this is a journey they have to walk. They have to. It was ordained for them to walk that path as an experience. They follow through, and plays out, and then what's left, and then you go forward from there. And they, account for, as you say, account for those feelings, those thoughts, those actions, and then come to terms with, this is what it is. This is what's happening. But they found out that information. I guided, of course, stay true to, when I say very exact piece of information, I mean in terms of what will happen. But oh yeah, and I don't ever answer with I answer with short essay answers, but the way that I answer, it's a yes or a no. Sometimes people, our human mind are like, I'm not perceiving that. No, like, but it's spelled out. That is a definitely a no, because, and with, my thing is, as a psychic, it's telling you the details, that it's a no. Here's the details of the events, the outcome, then what you get, results. And then people are like, can't you just say yes or no? That means that person is like, I want that connection, um, like dead or alive, so to speak. And that's when, there's no judgment, because we all have what they call it, our unhealthy moments. And where we're like, we'll cash in. We're like, okay, universe, I've been very good. I'm ready to cash in. I'll take on whatever, the whatever comes with it. But universe is like, I'm not playing. At some point, universe will say, I'm not playing along with that. So even if, like, the person is willing to do that, they're like giving very specific future events that are my predictions. And then let's say, if I played along and I said no or yes, then what? People are gonna say, well, you care to elaborate? Like, where's your psychic guides now with the details? You were being so detailed earlier. So that happens a lot. Um, Yeah. So, but I never ever answer like a yes or a no. I answer a yes or a no in short essay answer, and you will know that it's no maybe. It is a yes or a no, but the short essay form of what you will get. It will be, even if it's contrary to what you were hoping and wanting and praying and desiring and wishing, you know, or it could actually be a full on everything you've ever wanted. Either way, people are gonna say that they'll ask it again, you know. And so then, because I'm referring to details, I'm able to include time, date, place, the person, under what situation, who else is there present. So yeah, that is my style. Just to kind of talk about a bit. Okay, what time is it? Okay, I got. I'm doing good for time. I I am a bit on a like an hour break, so and it's like I had like 30 more minutes to kind of hang out. Hmm. But yeah, I'm going to continue. Um, to I guess work on um, I guess this seems feels like I'm working on the branding side. So that's what I was writing in my notes when I was studying. I'm like, okay, now how can I utilize these features? So yeah, it seems like officially I can make sure that I'm announcing clearly these are the subjects, this is the topic, this is what we're doing. Yeah, and it should come together. I did really well in some of my lives, but I haven't figured out. I only know to come on live like when I have the time. I still don't have a consistent time. I do like the mornings. Yeah, I love the morning time to come in. So, mornings are good. I haven't figured out if maybe, well, could I? I mean, sometimes I will go live in the afternoon, or sometimes like in the evening I've gone and people will come in, but nothing consistent, like a time, a very specific time. I haven't figured that out yet. Um, hmm. I just, maybe I should come up with like very specific times. But for now, I just like to come on whenever I feel good about it. Like right now, I feel pretty good about going live. I know everybody's seen this deck. This deck is very helpful. I really do need this deck right now. Like my client deserves this next journey that I said I need to work with these. Is they have fulfilled all their goals, and it's like this is it's like a treat. They need a little love in their life, so I use these, and it's like only because I tend to make sure that your life is grounded, you're secure, you're economically protected. Like I tend to focus on those things. Those things really mean a lot to me spiritually. And then love, because you're ready to enjoy love, being loved, and also sharing love with others with less stress and worries of what's happening in your world in the secular way. So this kind of reminds me to stay on topic. Like, look, they worked really hard. They listened to everything you said, even when they didn't even know if they could believe it or not. I love when the client says, "This sounds a little bit too good to be true," and then it happens, and it's like, "Yeah, you said that right before this, before that, and then you got them all in a row." So this is just one more treasure, to obtain. And now we're going to focus all of our energy for you to pull in a little bit of love. So anyway, I love this. Is a beautiful deck. I think is a deck that other people. It seems to be a common deck. That people enjoy. I've seen like maybe like one other person with these decks. They're still Rider Waite themed, but they are kind of they represent what has already happened and also what's to come. So yeah, I enjoy them, but they still carry the Rider Waite themes. Yeah, very good deck. And there's some other decks that represent like transformation. So but they are Rider Waite themed. I'm going to get those decks. So yeah, I have a few decks in mind. I also want more of these types style decks. I love the today's artists for the tarot creating the modern day type style decks. You know, like group of people sitting around an office, networking a bit, having a little bit of a meeting. I love these types of decks. Decks that deal with life, like real life stuff. You know, like if someone who may be living in the city, you know, sitting there, modern day clothes, you know, man, you know, maybe he arrived at the party alone. I love the illustrations, you know, the modern day style. That, you know, when I use these decks, the modern day, my clairvoyance, my clairs open up so brightly, and it's on like one streamline. Um, these are a little bit more complicated because you know they it's like one card can tell an entire story. That one card could be one entire reading. So that's yeah they I believe that they you have a unique. I connect with them in a very unique way. This seems to be more like for knowledge, you know, like educational purposes, and um, you know, like connecting with ancient symbolisms and my roots. And these seems to be work really well, align perfectly with my abilities, especially clair abilities. Hmm. Um, So naturally, I've already begun thinking about which book or books because I have so much writing. Definitely, the in terms of like the books I intend to, you know, now that I have a place where I can present the book, which is nice because um, it's what do you call it? It seems to be like it's like it's mine. It's like from my. I mean, it's on the platform. It was sharing it through a platform, yes, but it's like the backup is my own. It's mine. So I'm like as they say, you own the copyright. Yes, yes, I will definitely. I feel that sense of ownership. But yeah, so of course, then you will own it through the branding. So anyway, um, yeah. So it's like yeah, I'm probably gonna be working on a few different writing projects, but I'm also the other types of writing. It's not. They told me not to call it necessarily a newsletter, but I'll be writing pieces for put like with the same quality as an ebook. Like that's definitely part of the membership, but I'm gonna have the ability to start that early. But something that I like links that I'll be able to share here. So now that I, you know, have access to certain features, you know, through lives, while in midstreams in live. So I'm very excited about these. There's I mean there's so many features. It's like all the ways to help you get receive the experience that I was hoping for. I'm like, please figure out a way. And I just happened to just I said, well, let me check. And I was just checking out the features. I'm like, oh wow, here we go. That is what I was looking for. It had a whole list of different just ways and that I can this one particularly is one that, like you said, it does something for like to create an like get people to set in like booking appointments. Like, okay, how can I book with you? Well, first, how are you gonna get in touch with with me? Which I think that that's a better way, like through email first, as opposed to, well, just call the number and I'll get you set up. I think that, yeah, like we cover that first. Um, of course, by the way, I think you would know this already. Lots of people contact the psychic and they're like, I'm not going to say anything. I want to see what you can pick up on your own. Like, so I'm not, like, I don't need a person to like give me like paragraphs of their life or their situation. I mean, you can, but when people ask, do I need any information from them? I always say, well, the spirits will give me all of the information that they want me to share and pass along with you. But this is your reading. So, as much as information that you feel comfortable with, you can share, or none at all. And I'm like, you don't have to. Not even a name, not even a birthday. That's not even my, as a tool. Like, I don't use names and birthdays as a tool, or like their name, your name. I just, like, I connect with the situation, and it's exact and it's approximate. And people are like, okay, you know what you're like, okay, I don't know how you did that. First of all, did you, okay, how do you read? Do you do this by my name? uh, it's just is my process. I just connect. So, um, and then, um, as the reading progresses, of course, I always say, I like my readings. I like it to be interactive. So I always like, if you have a question, help guide to for me to find, like, ask the right questions to the guides so you get the answers you actually are looking for. So I allow people to kind of interject. And I would say, don't worry about me. I won't forget where I'm at or anything. I won't forget any information to give to you. And regardless of how like, that sounds like, gosh, you must have to speak for 40 minutes or an hour. No. Um, Earlier, someone spoke to me for 2 minutes. So, yeah, so someone spoke to me for 20 minutes. Someone spoke to me for 50 minutes. So, I always like to say it like this. Universe is going to get you all of the answers in the time that you have. So all of the answers, because, yeah, like, we can, like, if you obviously 2 minutes, you're like, I'm looking for a specific answer. So that specific answer, approximate answer, that's the answer we go and get. And um, when it's 20 minutes, to 2 hours, that's people who have, like, somebody contacts me and wants dream interpreting. So they like to, so like, every little symbol we read through. They tell me, first of all, they tell me what happened, and then I tell them everything, what every little piece means, and then it aligns. So it depends on, I guess, what you're looking for, what you need. But yeah, pretty much the person. It's every bit the person who I'm reading as it is mine. So it's like I'm sharing a space where, yes, you can ask questions, and I'm gonna be like, let's get your questions answered. I am so eager to what spirits have to say for you, and please don't tell me. Okay. This is how sure that I've been. I would say, please don't tell. I used to get frustrated, so I literally had to start allowing people the opportunity to give me whatever information they feel comfortable with, is how I word it. But I used to, okay, however, I discovered how to give approximate readings and details and things like that, and tell people what happened without them giving me any information. My youth pride would get so frustrated when people try to giving me information. I used to stop them before they even get the words out. I'm like, do not give me additional information. I don't want to know anything. Please don't tell me what you think it is. Don't tell me what some other psychic said. Let me read for you first. Let me impress you first. Because I'm like, look what I can do. Then, that my fiery side would say, look what I can do, and trying to show off. And yeah, and then people are like, but I, this is my reading. I paid for it. Let me. I'm like, okay, fine. If you want to tell me everything, fine. He's so prideful. Um, but then I say, okay, how do I come out? How do I grow out of it? How do I grow now? So then I said, okay, whatever information you feel comfortable. I don't need an information, so that there it is. I can release the fact they think that I might, in my head, they're thinking that I might need help. I'm like, no, I don't need any help. But if it only share information that you're comfortable with, I will now listen. I'll be quiet and listen. And so whatever they got to get out, I'm like, I already knew that. But I'm already gonna find that out anyway. It's gonna come out in the wash. But continue. Then and then then I understood like this. They telling me things that they already are aware of, or at least they think they are aware of. And anything that needs to sort of like be filled in information wise, they're like, yeah, go ahead. Tell me now. Tell me what I need to know, or tell me if I've gotten it wrong, or I might be off, or I may have missed something. Yeah, this like tell me what they know of so far, and that does, to be honest, that is helpful, because then I'm like, okay, now I'm not going to tell you anything that you told me, unless it's other, like it's what I'm going to share with you might challenge what at the time your perception of things in the current moment. Like sometimes people are like, how can this person really be invested if they are not doing certain little things or haven't made it known verbally? And so, sometimes I have to go in there and say, well, even though it may not appear now, the difference is what you've witnessed before in the past. Going forward, you're going to actually see that the person does genuinely, have your best interest to mind and heart. And it's like, okay, it's like looking at a math problem. Okay, how did you solve that? Then that's where the reading starts. I was like, okay, that answer was not what I was expecting. So the real reading is, how did you get the answer to? How do you know? Are you sure? So you telling me, So, and then they call back and say, okay, everything you said. Tell me more. So that's how my readings go. That's how I guess the readings matured. It matured in that way. And yeah, so I'm just, having the time of my life. I'm learning to enjoy the readings for me, not necessarily, to, I guess, like, even people even like say, I guess shifted like, like a good job, or, it is kind of difficult for me to accept that, like good job, or like, you helped me, like, but you helped me with this. I didn't, I'm like, no, you did all the work. I'm like, you did all the work, and you wanted more for your life, and now you're manifesting it, and you get all. I always last piece. I always say, and you get. But you're the one who gets all of the treasure. You get the entire treasure chest here. And it's going to, it's enhancing your life. And now we're focusing on this. Now it's like, or they'll say, wow, this one thing happened, but they also have like two other things. They say, now that we've received this one, now we can focus on, the job assignment they want. They want to do better, have better numbers. Now it's time to get the investor, and that investor is going to choose their team, to take on the assignment, something like that. Or yes, you're planning that now. You're planning for your trip that you're going to enjoy, and yes, you're going to have your friendship back. It's like we're not going to stop here. This is a good win, but now we've got to get the other two things that you're focusing on. So that's how I read. I don't. really just stop at compliments. But the feedbacks, I love all the feedbacks. I have tons. I have like well, lots and lots of feedbacks. Um, and I was posting the links so that people could. Okay, like I am a working psychic, right? So people can click the link and then go and find my page, my bio page, and read all of what people the feedbacks. By the way, I have 5 stars, you know, on everything, all across, the Americas platform, the other side of the world platform, all 5 stars. I think people have listened to my story. I tell it every now and then. I am working with top companies in both stationed in London, that's United Kingdom, and also here in America. And the one in well, both companies are superior, right? They're number one, but the one in the UK is there's a circle of 5 famous psychics, and I work with their incoming clients when they can't like if they when they can't speak to the famous psychics, I guess their favorite famous psychic over there, because there's 5 of them. Then I work with. They'll reach out to me, and I even have regular people who they regularly work with me, but they also align with their favorite psychic who is famous, and they get like messages from them through email and etc. Yeah, so that's it. Sounds like an intern, right? Sounds like an internship. Yeah, yeah. So, so that's what I do professionally. Like, what do you do for work, or other than you're here you are on YouTube. What are you trying to do? Get your YouTube started off the ground. That's what I do. So, and then on my YouTube, that I would love to take a life, have a life of its own, is doing that work, but for my YouTube channel. So I'm these. Oh, I've raised so many watch hours in my head. Everybody's like, you need to hurry, you need more watch hours. You need to hurry up. No, I'm going as quickly as like the universe will allow. Okay, that's number one. And I think that I've acquired a lot of more watch hours than I ever have in my life. So, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep working at it and keep like perfecting the brand, keep perfecting how I'm going to introduce the books to you, how I'm going to introduce the services to you, and get better at communicating the services to you. I'm going to try to, of course, definitely keep it interesting. There's always something new to talk about. There's an abundance of information. What do you call it? Studies to talk about. Um, I have rediscovered my love for the library. I'm reading about. I'm even reading a science. What do you call it? A theoretical mathematician. Who's who understands the physics stuff and things like that. Talk about the conservation of energy. Help me to understand predictions, but from a scientific point of view. But of course, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, he's talking to me, the psychic. I understand this. So I'm reading him and understanding it as the point of view as a psychic. He's talking about the timeline and and like like neutrino, like and like events and making predictions, and the importance of abstract mathematics, and so he names very specific in their time these like mathematicians who in their own right even beloved by Einstein. He mentions a few even women mathematicians. One of them has a story. Can't I've got it in my notes. One day I guess I have to talk about. I won't get into it because if I start, I'll get to the point where I'm saying I don't know her name, but I know her story. So before that happens, and it's like, okay, where would you go with that? But yeah, there's a lot of because there's so many. I've read. I'm reading throughout the chapters, and I'm taking notes. People would ask me when like when I was growing up, I always would I would read everything, but I'm also writing like tons and tons of notes. And people are like, well, you don't have to do that. You could just write the answer. And I would write answers in full sentences. And um, I kind of had an idea what I was trying to do, but like, well, this helps me to get the depth, and I feel like I'm awakening something. I don't know, I didn't know what to call it, but now today I do the I do it even more today. Like I read a book, especially a book that is like the one I'm reading. This is a, he's a theoreticist, and I mean, I have notes upon notes, and now today I know why, because I'm like analyzing. I'm analyzing the information. I haven't. I keep saying I got my notes way over there. One second, I can grab it very quickly. Okay, very quickly. Here we go. All right. So let me see. This is what I've been writing in. Okay. So I've got all of these kinds of notes. It's notes, 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 notes. I'm into that book, right? So I'm studying, getting all this information. I'm like, wow. This is the notes that was teaching me about, Spirit was telling me about the branding. And right, so I have these professional spirits around me, talking, training me up about, yeah, this is this and this and this. I'm like, okay. I'm just making sure I get it. Let me get it down in my notebook. so, and so here I am. So, and I hope that you all see a difference. As I guess I progress with my lives, I hope you see the difference in my growth. Hope you do. I personally do, but I hope you feel that energy. I hope you feel it. Yeah, I'm gonna be a very responsible, independent psychic. What time is it? Okay, guys, I gotta go because I gotta commit to incoming clients. I want you to join my client list. I want you to book behind the clients that have already booked, it's so that I get to you and read for you. I look towards sharing more features, a part of the live experience, and I thank you for, if you had the time to kind of join in and have a conversation or just listen to me talk, um, and and hopefully whatever that you're listening to, if it's for comfort, relaxation, um, but also like it's inspire you. If you maybe you feel an excitement in you and you're like, yeah, I want to get into some spirituality. It may not be my spirituality. My spirituality is not everybody's cup of tea, and everybody isn't like, what's your gig, like, what's your stick here, like, what are you doing, this is not for everybody. I get it, and a lot of people, they're not letting me to go on, even if they ask. They don't want the paragraphs of, this is why I read the tarot. They don't want that. Okay, they're just like being respectful. I think they're just being nice. They're being kind. Like, so what's your what do you believe? You know. But yes, I believe that you get to, because all my clients do this. They all maintain their own spirituality. Some of them are spiritual. Some of them are more Hindu lending, right? They more lean towards Hinduism, but they're spiritual. But some, are Catholic, and Jewish. Some of they have their own religion, their own spirituality. They don't have to like link up with mine for my site to work. That's not the way psychic information works, or being psychic. They of course they utilize the term universe a lot, which just across the board. Nothing wrong with saying God, but they'll say, when they say universe, I know already through my trained ears, oh, they mean God, pretty much, or the universe as in any hosts that's helping them achieve the direction in life, or have the experience the transformation, or give them that inner strength they're going to need. That's pretty much what it means. But it's like a conversation, a discussion, where I always say, look, this is your time to only focus about you. Last piece, one client asked, Some clients, say, is it okay if I cuss? Because they can, like, during readings, I don't disrupt the spiritual experience, right? So they're like, is it okay if I cuss? I'm like, let them fly. So this is spiritual space, right? And if you feel like you gotta let some cuss words fly, I'm like, because sometimes they need to really express how they're feeling about a situation or person, and I'm like, let's hear your best ones. And it's okay, and still do the readings. They still have a spiritual breakthrough or a metaphysical therapeutic moment. Everything and anything they need to help them become stronger and call in manifestations, bring into fruition all of that they hope for and in their dreams. And of course, dreaming while awake, or all your dreams come true. Remember, the people used to say that before they came back and rewrote it and said, stop dreaming. You have people saying, stop dreaming. You have another group saying, make all your dreams come true. Living your dream, follow you after your dreams. Does that mean stay asleep or no, dream while awake though? Okay. You mean like daydream. So, no, one day your dream will be like HD, but in 3D, and you'll be awake, but you'll see everything you dreamt in your visions will be in the causal, in the material world. It'll be like a force operating your life, which means that's a tangible evidence that dreams come true. Dreams are real too. They are real. So yeah. So we're navigating all that. All right. So all of that. So yes, your readings should also be fun. They should be fun, and a lot of my clients are excited when they call, and I'm excited to receive them, to receive their calls. So like is that always like tough conversations, but even when it's tough conversations, the idea that you're breaking through, people feel the energy of that, like they are taking control of some part of themselves or aspect of life, and they're feeling good about it, and they're ready, and yes, they are even excited about it. It gets them like, okay, like after I had this conversation, I feel better. So I love when people give me that feedback. Anyway, okay, I gotta go. How do I get out of here again? Huh? What? Hmm.